Hello, my name is Ben Thorne. I am a transatlantic master's student at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Today I'm joined by Professor Layna Mosley, also from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Professor Mosley will speak to us today about the politics of debt management. Professor, from the perspective of your research, why should Americans care about the crisis in Europe?
There are several reasons why Americans should care about the crisis in Europe. First, if the European economies collectively don't do very well, then this is bad for the global economy and by implication bad for the United States. And to the extent that European governments are worried about dealing internally with their economic crises, they're less able to deal with global issues where the U.S. needs the Europeans as a partner in managing the global economy and in dealing with things like global imbalances economically. The second reason, though, to care about the European debt crisis is that it offers lessons for the United States and for other countries about how governments and the ways in which governments borrow can affect their ability to exercise the policies they and their citizens want to implement. So, for instance, when governments are more indebted, they have to refinance their debt more frequently on international capital markets. And this means that if capital markets decide that they don't want to buy U.S. debt or Italian debt or Greek debt, then their governments have to pay more to borrow money. This means governments have less money to spend on other things. My research looks at the way in which how governments structure that borrowing, not only how much they borrow, but from whom they borrow and over what time horizon they borrow, has implications for what governments can do. So when we as Americans think generally about the way in which global economic factors affect national policy making, we can look to the European countries for lessons about our own policy making as well. It's especially important in a time when the United States is facing unprecedented levels of national debt and thinking about how best to balance the obligations of that debt with our other domestic priorities.
Thank you, Professor Mosley.
It's been a pleasure.
The full lecture will be available on our center's YouTube channel.
Subscribe using the link below.